Catfish, a very interesting film, very different movie that's hard to describe without sort of actually describing it, but that onus will fall on Matt.
Catfish is a documentary about some filmmakers.
But a real documentary, we think, not
like the Joaquin.
Right, not like
it's
I'm
a documentary about a guy, a photographer in New York, who develops an online relationship, and things may not be exactly what we think they are.
Hello?
Hey, Megan?
Hi, how are you?
Your voice is not at all what I expected. I mean, she must be pretty awesome, at least from Facebook.
How long have you been calling each other babe?
2 weeks, maybe?
So you're full on going out?
I guess I don't know that much about her. I don't really want her getting hurt. I'm not getting hurt. So what's the next move?
I think we drive up to Megan's farm in Michigan.
This is it. This is it. Just pull up.
You want to drive into the driveway?
Yeah. Are you crazy?
What do you mean?
Drive into the driveway.
I'm a little scared. This place gives me the creeps. Let's go.
You've just found like the tip of the iceberg.
You gotta stop. No camera down.
What happens when they get to the farm?
That's where the zombies attack.
It gets very interesting when they get to the farm. It's a very tense moment, and I thought a very compelling, very interesting movie. You, I think, had more criticisms of it. So, what's your problem?
I thought this was a fascinating movie. I enjoyed it. I think this is an extremely well-made movie, and it's hard to talk about it without really spoiling it. But I have my doubts about the veracity of it. It's
really?
Not that I think that I don't think that the movie is staged in the way that I'm Still Here is staged. But I think that Neve, the story Neve, is falls for this woman online.
Yeah,
right?
he develops a relationship with the 8-year-old girl who is she's a photographer, and she makes a painting of one of his photos, sends it to him. He's impressed by that, and they start a little Facebook relationship, and then he starts a greater relationship with her hot older sister and her mom.
Right.
Not a romantic relationship with the mom. He gets to know the mom, and then they start the sister. They talk, and they're sexting and stuff.
Right.
And all the friends,
right.
the family's
And then
friends,
right.
like 15
right.
people have become
Right. They
friends
haven't
with.
met.
Right.
They're just Facebook friends, right?
Right. So, at what point do we do the spoiler report? Spoiler
Well, I think
alert
you
here.
can get. But what you're saying is that you didn't. What you eventually see, what we eventually learn, you thought some of that might have been staged?
No, actually, no. I think that what we eventually learn is all for real. I think that
these guys knew it ahead of time?
These guys knew everything ahead of time.
So all their stuff before about, we're exciting, this could be a real relationship for me.
We need spoiler alert now, I think, if we're going to keep talking about this.
I think I will. I don't know. I could get around it.
All right.
All right.
Well,
what I will say is...
All right, hold on.
If we're going to do this and really talk about it, we need to really talk about it.
Anyway, it's been out in a couple of cities already, so, it's already easy to read about it. As we do the spoiler alert, let's do our best not to totally betray everything. Okay. But
right.
But you didn't buy.
My issue is that here are guys who are. I think they are too tech savvy. I think they are too sophisticated to have fallen for what they fell for. Right. I think that the relationship is one-sided.
The relationship that's developing between Neve and this girl.
Neve and Megan.
Right.
I believe that what's going on is that Neve is not being genuine. I think that Neve knows something else is up. And
even as he pretends.
Even as they pretend. Because I think that
he says at one point, if when we meet, this could be, if we're attracted to each other because clearly we have this connection online or on the phone, and if we meet, this is going to be a great relationship.
No, I mean, what I think happens very early on in the making of this film, I think before they even decide to make the film, I think what happened is, he gets this painting, they sense something is up, they do a little bit of digging, and they realize that this isn't for real. And they film the whole process. And I think that what we ended up with came out in the edit bay, actually. I think that they were playing along with this, playing along with her, playing along with everything that they...
Then they can act. I don't know.
I believed a lot of it. And I think if anything is fake, is that maybe a conversation that took place that maybe they didn't get it on camera the first time, maybe they reenacted it. Or maybe they reshot some stuff. But I think when they go to Michigan and they meet these people, it's all real. And they don't know who they're meeting.
Right, exactly. No, I don't say that. I'm not saying that that's fake. I think that what I will say is I think they knew that there were shenanigans going up on behalf of Angela.
Obviously,
and
the
Megan
Facebook relationship is not what it appears
I
to
think
be.
that they were,
and you think that right from the beginning, they knew that this family, Angela is the mother, Megan is the 20-year-old sister who Neve is involved with, and Abby is the 8-year-old painter. You think that they knew right away this is weird, and so when they string us along, pretending like they think it's real,
they're stringing the family
you felt that
along.
was inauthentic.
That's what I felt was inauthentic.
I thought he was totally sucked in, flattered by the attention. He's like a young, I think he's kind of guileless. I think he's a great-looking guy. He's charismatic as hell. He's a great smile.
Get some girls, though.
Right, but I believe
I was
that he
a little
was.
attracted to him.
I know he has a great smile, shiny teeth. But I believe that he was really flattered by the attention, by the compliments to his work.
Yes.
He's only like 24.
Yeah.
I think he got sucked in by this family that's totally different from the one that he grew up in. And he was fascinated by them, and only when they went to Michigan did they realize. Or actually, no. Well, prior to that, because they have some.
Yeah, they got a clue. Yeah.
But I think for a long time they're all kind of sucked in by this family.
Yeah, they went to Michigan because they had a clue.
See, I have trouble believing that they bought that those paintings were done by.
But then, so you didn't. But then, how? So you think these guys? By the way, it's the people who made the movie are his best friend and his brother. So that's plausible. But you didn't. But then he's a heck of an actor. I mean,
the moment when he's under the covers reading the text messages.
No, I think he's embarrassed about what he's been.
Vulnerable, and it feels so.
No,
but
if I think he's embarrassed about what he's been doing. I actually think the embarrassment and the vulnerability is he realizes that he's stringing this one along, not unlike the way he's being strung along.
No, I believe that he's embarrassed.
And I think that what happens is they actually get there and they find out what's going on and they start to feel bad.
Because they do start to feel bad
because they learn that the deceit that had been done to them was from a different place.
Right,
than
but
they
I think that they were going out
there
for the gotcha.
There is a gotcha.
I think there is a gotcha, and I think toward the end, as they were heading to Michigan, when they realized that they had been deceived, I think they were going for a gotcha, and then there's a reverse gotcha. I think that made it very authentic.
I guess my take on it is that with a Facebook-only relationship, I refuse to believe that they're not going to do any kind of research based on the names that they're being given to actually see that this daughter that the 8-year-old is the painting prodigy.
Well, eventually they do, and in the meantime, he's having this great talk
I refuse
on the phone.
to believe that they didn't do that within the first couple of days. That's the thing. I just can't believe it.
All right, so what did you give it?
So I had given it a higher score. I give it a 6 because in spite of what I feel about it, it's a riveting story. And I think that the chance to see Angela and the family is so moving and is such an amazing combination of being both horrified and sympathetic.
Yeah.
That I still give it a 6.
What do you think, Christine?
8.5.
Yeah.
I think it's really well made. It's so many things over the course of just like an hour and a half. It's a comedy. It's a romance. It's hugely suspenseful. That last little bit at the end of the trailer there, where they're pulling up to the house, like we were all holding our breath. It was more tense than any horror movie.
Yeah, totally. Yeah.
And then
you didn't know what kind of movie you're getting.
Yeah, and it keeps changing, and then it's really sad. It's really sad, and then strangely hopeful at the end.
Totally, it's very sad. It takes all these emotional turns toward the end, and they're all legitimate, and they all feel legitimate to me. I never felt like, I didn't feel any of the things that you felt. Something's wrong with you.
I'm cynical.
You're soulless.
I
I'm
also
a rat
gave
bastard,
it,
I'll admit.
I match Christy on this. I also gave it an 8.5. So that pulls the overall grade to Catfish to a impressive 7.6. Obviously, highly recommended. Already opened, I think, in New York and Los Angeles, maybe Austin,
San Francisco, I think.
Yeah. Anyway, opening wider this weekend and in the weeks ahead. So look for Catfish at a multiplex near you. Okay, so now we move to another documentary, if indeed that one was a documentary. By the way, they're calling Catfish the real Facebook movie, which is very clever as we get to the Social Network next week.